Hello, today we're going to learn everything about using EXR image sequences in Nuke, and I will use this example of the beach shot again. And you can see here 4 different versions of EXR encodings. So on the upper left we have RLE, and that is about 8 megabyte per frame. And then we have 2 versions of zip encoding. 1 scanline and 16 scanlines, and those are both about 5 megabyte per frame. And the 1 scanline is a little bit bigger but also faster to use. And finally we have DreamWorks Animation A, that is only about 1 megabyte per frame, but this is a lossy format. So let's see how we can generate these EXR image sequences. If you don't want to use, for example, Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, then you can use the FFmpeg command that I also explained in an earlier video. So you use the FFmpeg command in a command line interface, and then the input is the camera file, which is a DJI camera in this case, encoded in H.265. And then we have frames, that is the number of frames we want to extract. And then we have the format, that is in this case EXR. Then the compression, and here you can type RLE if you want to use the RLE encoding, or zip1 if you want to use a zip1 scanline encoding, or zip16 if you want to use the zip16 scanlines encoding. But you can't use the DreamWorks Animation using FFmpeg because that is a licensed format. So I think the best option for FFmpeg might be zip1 because it is about the same size as zip16 but faster to process. So let's run this. Before also we have the format half, means that we have half float, that is 16-bit. And then you have the file name. And this %04D means that it will pad the frame number to 4 digits. So let's run this, and now it will generate an EXR image sequence. But this is not the most optimal version because the DreamWorks Animation is much smaller. So if we want to reduce our file size, then we can load the image sequence we made, for example in FFmpeg or Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, using a read node, and then using a write node, and select the compression to be DWA. But it is a bit tedious to have to open Nuke and make a Nuke script every time you want to convert files. So if you watched my earlier lessons about Nuke script, you can also make a Nuke script directly in a text editor. So here is a quick example. So here is the root format 1920 by 1080, HD 1080, and then we have a read node with the file name, and you have to specify this to be linear. And then you have the write node with the file name that you want to write out. And you have to specify the EXR file type and the compression to DWA. And this can be a bit quicker to do than to create a setup inside of the user interface. And this can also be run from the command line. So here you have the full comparisons of the EXR image formats. I hope this was helpful, and see you next time. Over and out.